So some of the top things to do for recovery. Number one, get good sleep. I'm asked all the time, what's the best way to, feel better? Get good sleep. What's the worst thing I can do? Get bad sleep. Like, it's not rocket science. If you don't have a Whoop, or if you don't have an Apple Watch, or you don't have some type of measurement, an Oura Ring or something like that, you might want to invest in one so you can see what's happening during the night. How often are you waking up? What's your respirations? What's your body temperature? How are you functioning throughout the night? Like, what's your resting heart rate, but also what's your heart rate variability, which can give you a really good window into how you're functioning. So after sleep, I'd say, if you're not doing some type of active recovery, I'm not talking rest. There is no freaking such thing as rest. I hear that all the time from other docs telling patients to rest. They rest for a month, they rest for 2 months, they rest for 6 months. Even rested for 9 months, it didn't get any better. You think? Like, did that take a rocket scientist to figure out that whatever you had didn't get better with rest because you never figured out what the real problem was? So if you want to find the underlying cause, that's one thing, but that would be called active recovery, or you'd actually be going through some type of rehabilitation, whether that be strengthening, flexibility, mind training, whatever that is, right? So in active recovery, you need to be doing something, whether it be compression boots. Oh, let's stop for a second. Freaking compression boots? Oh yeah, take it as high as you can. Okay, that's like the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life, right? Because patients will go there, come back and go, my knee feels worse. I go, oh, well, what level did you take it? Because it was a Normatec or whatever the unit was. And I said, what'd you take it to? And they said, I took it like 7 and it was really painful. Yeah, well, gas, it's not supposed to go to 7. Well, that's what they told me. Okay, the person that told you it's gas, because it should be 1 or 2. Lymphatics need a nice, gentle massage. They don't need Holga going in there and dropping her elbow into the muscle and trying to release all the toxins with that. Because what happens is the lymphatics will actually close down. What we want is that the lymphatics actually release and open up and push the fluid back into the heart and for the legs to feel better, or the arms, whatever part of your body it is, so that you can actually function better. Another thing is, what kind of food are you eating? If you're eating high levels of carbohydrates, like, okay, I know, you're an endurance athlete. Yeah, I hear that one all the time too. And guess what? Unless that's your primary fuel and that's the way your body runs, it burns just carbohydrates and nothing else, okay, no, that doesn't happen, so I'm lying to you.
But that's simply not possible.
Then I would probably look at better usage of fats and high-level proteins. And I'm not talking about like stuff down at your local grocery store. I'm talking about like high-quality stuff, whether you're getting stuff online or whether you're going to the butcher yourself, or you're killing your neighbor's cow. I don't really care, right? All I know is it better be organic meat. It better be grass-fed, because we know that if it's not grass-fed, it's going to have high levels of omega-6s. Oh yeah, and lately people say omega-6s aren't bad for you. Okay, I'm not sure what they're reading, but the stuff I read doesn't say that. And by the way, I'm not a rocket scientist, but I could build a freaking rocket ship if I wanted to.
Rocket scientist, how humiliating.
Like, what are you doing? If you're not doing recovery and you tell me you're an elite athlete, wrong, you're not. Oh, and guess what? That's probably most of the population of elite athletes. They tell me they're elite athletes. They haven't gotten to where they are because of their recovery strategies. They got there in spite of 0 recovery strategies. We've had patients that are pro athletes that fly in to see me, that get a head injury. Like, oh, okay, first they come in for their calf, they come in for their low back, they come in for their shoulder, and we work quote unquote miracles with them, right? Not really miracles, but because no one else has helped them, I guess that's a miracle. And I'm known as the witch doctor, I'm known as the voodoo doctor, I'm known as, magic doc, whatever, all that stuff. What I'm saying is that then they get a concussion, and instead of turning to me, they listen to their team doctor or the guy on their team, whatever, or their other friend that does nothing and says, oh, he just takes rest. Okay, so we've had guys that had a concussion back in last November, and it's now the second week of March, and they're still in concussive state. That's kind of up if you think about it. Like, I've had kids get a concussion on a Friday night, and by Wednesday they were released by concussion experts here in Phoenix that said, I don't know what happened, but like, yeah, he's good to go, I'll let him play. And it was not even a week later. That was 5 days. So what is it that we're doing that other people aren't doing? I'll tell you what it is. I realize how little I know, which makes me a freaking rocket scientist or a genius, because I don't feel like I know everything. I know I don't. That's what makes me want to learn all the time. And so I'm picking other people's brains, and I'm looking at the literature that's out there, and then I'm doing trial and error with that athlete, and I'm seeing what works for them and for their body. And if you're not doing that, and you're just doing some rote memorization, or you're going to somebody that's just cracking your back all the time, or you're cracking your own back, or they're just giving you supplement after supplement, and they're not getting to the root of your problems, it's because they're not being a doctor. Doctor means teach and educate. And it means it doesn't mean to cure or fix or heal. So that might be another way you want to go, is to find a new provider. And that's where you do like the Donald Trump thing and you go, hey doc, you're fired.
You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired.